I am honoured and delighted to be able to tell you that your book, A Revolutionary Consciousness, has been selected as the winner of the £2,500 Royal Society for Literature Giles and Aubyn Award for Non-Fiction. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. This is, yeah, it's a bit of a shock, but great, thanks.
Yeah, maybe it might take a minute to sink in. So, yeah, we were just so impressed, me and the other two judges, so impressed with your application. And we feel that A Revolutionary Consciousness will address a really important gap in the historical record by illumining this incredible story of the Caribbean artists movement and bringing it to a popular, wider audience. Tell us a little bit about the subject, just briefly.
Yeah, so A Revolutionary Consciousness, it will tell the story of the Caribbean artist movement, which was a sort of brief but sort of significant catalytic space within Britain for Caribbean writers, visual artists, and others across the arts from 1966 to 1972. So it was set up at a period of time when we'd gone from a boom of Caribbean writing, where there was a huge amount of interest in authors from the not quite yet decolonized Caribbean in Britain in the 1950s. The likes of Samuel Selvon and V.S. Naipaul sort of emerged from this moment of interest. Writers, thinkers migrated from the region to London primarily, but around the UK, and found their careers, and the literary public literary sphere is very, very interested and excited, etc. Then there came a bust, which sort of broadly corresponded with alterations in legislation around migration, and also changes in public perception around Caribbean migrants in the early 60s, where in England, in particular, there was this feeling that too many people were coming, that, this was changing British culture, sort of ideas familiar from the speeches of Enoch Powell and others, and the publishing opportunities for these individuals decreased. So what we ended up with was a group of people who had been feted in the 1950s, who were now sort of in very uncertain positions within Britain. And this movement was founded by three figures, John LaRose, Andrew Salkey, and Edward Kamau Brathwaite, to create a space to bring these authors and other artists again together to discuss Caribbean arts, the future of it in Britain, to think about developing a sort of indigenous, although it was developed in Britain, criticism as a way to kind of keep this community together, to keep hope alive, to take a phrase from elsewhere, and keep people producing, and that's the story.
That sounds fascinating, absolutely fascinating. It's so good to have the sort of backward perspective on Black culture in Britain today, and to be able to look at the roots of it. And I think it sounds fascinating. Can you tell us a bit about what this award will mean to you?
I mean, it's huge for a lot of reasons, I suppose. I guess, I mean, at a very, very basic and personal level, it's always wonderful to get sort of belief externally in your work, that it appeals, that it's rigorous, that it will do what it's claiming to say it will do on the tin, which is fantastic. At a very practical level, as I wrote in my application form, the work will require quite a lot of travel to archives, both around Britain and in the Caribbean. So it will immediately and very hopefully support that sort of globe-trotting that's necessary to plot the story of the movement. And I think, more wider, beyond me, but beyond this project, I think, it's just wonderful to see, very mainstream, long-standing British institutions like the RSL beginning to recognize the importance of telling these stories, and looking at this history that's always been present, but often looked away from, to help us to better understand where we are now. And that's part of the, again, as I wrote in my application form, one of the major motivations for me for this project is, bringing Black history, British Black history, sort of into central attention, and that the RSL believes that matters, and telling the stories, both the literary story and a political story, is important. That's a fantastic thing for every one of us who's interested in this and working in these fields.
And we also felt that with your knowledge and your academic credentials and all your professional experiences and personal experiences, that you will be sure to produce a work that's not only intellectually rigorous. I was particularly impressed by your plan that you already have for the book, which seems absolutely tight and brilliant, but that you will also write this book with passion and bring this fascinating story to life. So yeah, congratulations. I can't wait to read it.